Let's create another card alternative using the Heirloom arrangement kits. Thank you for joining me. My name is Tina Kavrigich. You can always reach me by emailing me at northernstamper@gmail.com. Let's get started in seeing what we're going to be using from the Heirloom arrangement kits. I am just loving this kit. I don't know about you. I think it is really great that they have a variety of things that we can choose from. Let's take a look to see the items we're going to be using. We're going to be using our Pecan Pie ink colored stamp pad. We're going to be using some of the stamps that are in this stamp set, in particular this little moth that is right here. We have a variety of sentiments that we can choose from, and we're going to be using them also. I have a piece of open weave gold ribbon, and I think this adds quite a bit to the card as we design it. I have a little piece of white square. It is one of the items in the ephemera packs. You just pop it out, and we're going to be using that for our sentiment. We need 2 pieces of pecan pie white cardstock. This one is 4 inches, so it's 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. So what's going to happen is this is going to be on our card base, and there's going to be an edge a little bit around. So it is 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. We have our card base, which is 8.5 by 5.5, 8 by 5.5, and I have it scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to fold that over, and if I bring in that piece, you will notice that will sit right on top with an edge all the way around. Okay, we want to have that edge all the way around. So it is the same color cardstock on the card base. We also want to have a piece of basic white, and that is also 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that will go on the inside of our card. So the pecan pie will go on the outside, and we will have a piece of basic white on the inside. We want to look at the ephemera packs, in particular the one with the butterfly, and we want to take a look for this one that is a long tag. 1, 2, 3 butterflies on that, and that's the one we're going to pop out. We are also looking for one of the ones with the frame, and it has this one here, and I'm just going to pop it out. On the inside, there is a piece of white. Before I even pop this out, I'm going to turn it over, and you can see the frame. I want to make sure that it stays together. I'm just going to add a little bit of tape, so I want to make sure that those 2 pieces do not come apart. I'm just going to pop it on just like that. Just want to make sure that they stay together. And now I can take this out. I want to make sure that this piece of white stays inside. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add another piece of tape. There we go. I don't want it to come out. So now it is stuck together, and you cannot tell that it is all like a couple of pieces. So those are the ephemera pieces that we are going to be using. Let's bring back in our piece of 4 by 5 1/4 cardstock. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're going to stamp some of the moss randomly on this piece of paper. So I'm going to take this moth, and I'm going to be stamping it all on that piece. I'm going to take the pecan pie and I'm just going to stamp. In particular, I want to make sure I get all the way around the edge. Now you can see the moth is all a variety of different angles. It's coming in and it's going out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of this mat and I'm going to place it on top and I'm going to place it on an angle. Now you can see as the moths, all the ones that I stamped are kind of coming around that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding that with some dimensionals. And adding that on an angle. Before I glue this piece, that will go right on top, and I'm going to be having it so that it goes in between those two pieces right there, just like that. Now, before I go any further, what I can always do is add a little bit of ribbon to it, and that will be going through some of this little hole that I have up at the top. And I just made a little bit of a tie. Okay. So that is going to fit right on top. Now if you want, you can always glue down these pieces. I'm just going to kind of press them down. I want to give some height to that tag too. So I'm going to take my dimensionals and I'm going to add it to the back. I'm just going to place it on like that. Let's bring in our card base. So we have our card base, and that's going to fit right on top. There we go. Let's add some glue and glue that down. There we go. Adjust our ribbon a little bit. I'm going to bring in the sentiment, and I'm going to add a sentiment onto that tag. So I have some that I can choose from. I'm going to lay it on top and make sure it fits. I'm going to get a dimensional and I'm going to place it on top. If you want, you can look for some embellishments that you can add if you like. And there we have our card finished. I think it looks really nice with the gold ribbon on top.